You're probably wondering how I got here. The Toyota Yaris, a small hatchback that's been available as a 3 and a 5 door since the late 1990s. A sensible choice for anyone who needs a car to be a car. It looks good. It's got Apple CarPlay and a couple of cup holders. It's small too, measuring 4 meters by 1.8, so getting in and out of parking spaces is easy. And it even has a reversing camera. And of course, it has a boot too, a whole 173 litres of it. Now that may not sound like a lot, but that is 39 litres or 29% more than a Porsche 911, which according to people like me who review cars for a living, is the most practical car in the known universe. So yes, whilst it's small, there's space for the essentials, a briefcase, your camera bag, and modest weekly shop. But what about what powers this thing? It's powered by a 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged unit. Now on paper, it sounds a little like something you would find in a hire car in Magaluf, but not this one. This one's special. It's been tinkered by Toyota's GR Racing division, the same people responsible for terrorizing WRC and reminding the world that Toyota doesn't just make sensible hybrids. The result is a 276 brake horsepower engine, small enough almost to fit in your overhead luggage compartment. A proper hooligan with rally pedigree baked in. I have done a few hundred miles in this car already. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that it was delivered a few days ago. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do. And in my time with the car, I have discovered some interesting things which I think you'll like, but I'll get to those in just a few moments. This one, in true small hatchback style, has 3 pedals and a manual gearbox. But fear not, if you're going to be doing a lot of town driving, there is an auto available. So I think you'll agree with me, Cattle Grid. It's all been good things so far, but there is one fly in the ointment. While there's plenty of space, while there's space in the rear for adults and Isofix anchors for child seats, the passengers will need to climb through the front door to get into the back. And that presents a small issue, as I shall now demonstrate. You see, one of the biggest issues the Yaris has is getting in and out of the back seat. Excuse me, sir, could you just try and get in to the back seat of this car for me? Sure. There is a cookie back there should you successfully make it in. Okay, so he's in, now get out. Sure, there is a 5-door version available, but that one doesn't have the twin exhaust pipes coming out the back, nor does it have the GR logo. The said GR makes all the difference.
Hey. Flipping the script from my old ways. Flick up the switch, I'm in flow state. Commas, I'm going through grown pains.
This isn't just a hatch. This is a very hot hatch. It can do the normal stuff as well as any city car in its segment, with the key difference being that this does the exciting stuff even better. At times you may need to drive to the train station or to the supermarket or to the petrol station. Who likes driving to the petrol station? Whereas in this, you'll want to. You'll want to drive it to those places. You'll want to drive it to, well, let's just see. The GR Yaris is a 3-cylinder heartbeats under a short bonnet. It can drive all 4 wheels through a variable all-wheel drive system, which for a car of its class is almost unheard of. And yes, whilst cars such as the A35 or the Audi S3 exist in form of 4MATIC and Quattro, for it to be available in a small hatch such as this is incredibly rare. The cornering ability of this car, the way it grips, is simply superb. In the case of this particular press car, that's further heightened by the fact that the wheels are wrapped with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. As I get more acquainted, as I start to understand the limits of this car, all the muscles in my face that are responsible for me smiling are engaged and sustained. pure straight line performance. Give me a car that handles like a bat out of hell. Furthermore, the suspension is tuned for performance too, with McPherson struts at the front and a multi-link rear axle. The end result is a car that just simply oozes confidence when you show it some winding roads. You have a small but mighty 3-pot engine that feeds power to all 4 wheels through this 6-speed manual gearbox. Around its 18-inch wheels are some of the grippiest rubber that money can buy, all in the guise of a small hot hatch with rally pedigree, resulting in a car that has more mechanical grip than anything else I've driven of late. And it has 90s-like qualities. The interior, the makeup of the car is reminiscent of a car that you typically find in the late noughties or early 2000s. The retro style interior, the fact that it's a manual gearbox with no real assistance. Of course, there are safety systems with ABS and all the rest of it, but it doesn't feel intrusive like it does in some of the other modern cars that I've driven. Take the steering, for instance. In modern cars, it feels as if though there's a hamster running around in its hamster wheel that is your steering wheel. And it's infuriating. You're trying to avoid a pothole, overtake cyclists, or just go around some parked cars, and you're in a constant battle with the computer because it's trying to keep you in lane. Whereas in this, there's not much of that really going on. It's lightweight, it's nippy, it's grippy, it's agile. It handles like a housefly. It's almost as if Toyota found the blueprint for this car dating back to the mid-90s for a car that they were gonna build. And instead, they built it now with today's engineering, with today's know-how. And that extends to the interior. I mean, look at it. It's just everything a driver wants to see. Navigation screen if needed, you've got your boost, you've got how much G-force, your speed, what gear you're in, and there's no distractions. It's bland, but in the nicest possible way. I mean, I thought all cars needed to have it, but it doesn't even have start-stop. What it does have is intercooler water spray. How many cars have that? None. Not one that you can go and buy from a dealership anyway. It's clear then the GR Yaris has a hefty dose of many ingredients, but above all else, it's got one ingredient that every performance car wants to have: motorsport DNA. However, it's not all perfect. There are some materials in here that feel a little on the cheaper side. The lack of latches on the shoulders of the seats, which I haven't quite figured out as to why, but you can't simply just fold the seats forward to let people in and out as we saw earlier. So you have to pull this forward or backwards, but then it loses where it was. So you have to readjust your seat every time. And dovetailing from that, the passenger side seat has no height adjustment either. The reversing camera is a little on the pixelated side. At a little over £46,000, this particular car doesn't have heated seats as well. The visibility from the rear window is a little tight, and then there's the noise insulation. It's not exactly quiet in here. It's a little drony. The GR Yaris could do with a little more insulation perhaps. I want to demonstrate something. Bit of build up. I'm down to 57 miles an hour, still in 6th gear. Road's about to open up ahead. I'm gonna wait till I get to 50. Right, 54, that'll do. Foot down. 55, 57, 50, 61, 64, 66, 70. This isn't an engine with a great big turbocharger. It's a turbocharger with a little engine. Brilliant. This is a homologation special required for this car to be able to compete in the World Rally Championship. If you want to race a 3-door, you've got to build and sell a 3-door. How cool is that? So going back to my earlier point, what are some of the things which I believe you're going to love about the GR Yaris? Nothing in here is overly complicated. There aren't 17 different driving modes and 34 different levels to your traction control. Everything is so simple and inspired by the 90s. Now, there may be an element of human nature, and what I mean is we're so acclimatized, we're so used to seeing all these modern cars with great big screens on the center dashboard and lots of various different colors for your ambient lighting. And going back to something that's quite analog like this, it's a breath of fresh air. Take the HVAC system for instance. The screen looks like it was taken off a Casio calculator. You can adjust your temperature on either side by simply turning the dials on each side. You can set it to auto, let the car do what it needs to do, or you can simply increase the fan speed using the physical buttons along the bottom. Again, wonderfully simplistic to use. In terms of driving modes, you push for track mode, you twist for gravel, or you twist the other way for normal. 3 different modes, that's it. Even on the menu here, you select powertrain and you've got sport, normal or eco. Steering, sport or normal. And consequently, whether you're 17 or 77, you can operate this car with complete ease. I imagine adding this engine, the intercooler, the uprated brakes, the torque splitting all-wheel drive system, as well as the suspension was a relatively easy task. But to turn a 5-door into a 3-door, which was never meant to be, is exactly what Toyota ended up doing. Resulting in this car and the standard Yaris sharing 4 parts. That's it. The door mirrors, the antenna on the roof, the front headlights and the tail lights. That's it. I reckon it's time we see what all of this has accumulated to. Do you? Thought so. The faster you drive it, the more rewarding it becomes. The gear changes are oh so satisfying. They're snappy, they're short, they're precise. They are excellent, they are superb. The turbocharger is up for it whenever you're ready. I'm starting to believe the expression, "I rather drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow," was conceived in one of these. Such poise, such balance, just pure, unadulterated driving pleasure. Have you ever sat in your room or in an office, scrunched up a bit of paper and just nonchalantly just threw it in the direction of a bin and it's just gone swoosh straight into the bin? That's how satisfying the gear changes feel in here. Everything is just designed to be quick. Even the windows, look at this, ready? 1, 2, 2.5 seconds. You never ever need a destination to drive the GR Yaris. You just get in it and drive. A rally-bred hot hatch, ladies and gentlemen. I know I keep saying it, but it's not something that we see a lot of these days. This may be one of the most purpose-built performance cars that money can buy in today's market. It has 259 extra welds and more than double adhesive to make the body shell as stiff as possible. I can relate. And the thing is, it's not bespoke just on its own. When you take into consideration the new car landscape, there's nothing else like it. And that's part of the reason why it demands the premium that it has. We'll get to that in just a few moments. Some of the cars that can hold a candle to the GR Yaris come from the class above, such as the Mercedes A35 AMG and the Audi S3. The power to weight ratio in the GR Yaris comes in at 211 brake horsepower versus the 183 in the A35. And this is why I say speed is boring. For me, how quickly a car can accelerate is the lowest form, the lowest skill set a new car can exude. Sure, your Porsche does it in 3.5, a Tesla does it in 2.9, a RS3 does it in 3.6. Most new cars have a very impressive 0 to 60 mile an hour time. And although I don't mean it in quite the literal sense that speed is boring, it's like, yeah, what else is new? This does 0 to 62 mile an hour in 5.2 seconds, which isn't the quickest. Its top speed is 143 miles an hour, which isn't the fastest. But in the real world, I couldn't care less. This car is all about sensations, how the car is to drive, how it makes you feel when you drive it, how it feels to operate this bit of machinery, and it's simply sublime. I'm a bit late to the GR party. It's a car which has been on sale since 2022, but believe me, it's worth celebrating. I'd quite happily continue driving this car for as long as I possibly could. The only downer for me, if you like, is the price tag at more than £46,000 new. At that price, someone might be looking at a used M2, a 991 generation 911 for instance. It's probably not enough car and too much pocket rocket for someone like me to spend almost £50,000 on one. I think I'd want it to do more, not in terms of performance and driving pleasure, because it does that in abundance, but just more car, more passenger space, more practicality, more boot. But that's just my personal preference. It probably wouldn't work for me. Take nothing away from the way the GR Yaris drives. I wish I could keep driving it. I wish I could keep taking it further. But unfortunately, I've run out of England.